I explain the sealed room. Impeccable chamber of secrets. The murderer will tell you as soon as he comes, but it's hard to do. Hello everyone and welcome to the chess club. Ian the Lake. Brought today is a Japanese mystery novelist. The short reasoning stories of Gu Yu. Locked room. Although the space is small, it was fantastic. Please also ask the detective to see the end. Not much to say. Hurry up and bring the big three companies. Let's start today's story. My name is Aichiro. He's $1 million a month craftsman. Hi, he's actually a thief. But I wasn't born to do this. On the contrary, my family of origin was extremely wealthy. And I also have a well-behaved and sensible sister. But when I was young, I ran away from home because of rebellion. He was later adopted by the thief. From then on, follow him through the rivers and lakes. For gentlemen like us, how to enter the owner's home is the most important step. Lockpicking with FEIJ or salvage top lock unlocking is different. I created my own lockpicking artifact. That's a stick. I usually hide it in the umbrella. I call him the middle finger. There is a curved section of wire at the front of the middle finger, wrapped in non-shape rubber, like a human finger. All you need to do is cut a hole in the door to unlock. Tap the middle finger in. Finger hits knob. It can be opened in one fell swoop. Over time, the manipulation of my middle finger has been resolved. Usual doors that take thieves 3 or 4 minutes to open, I can do it in about 30 seconds. Because of the skill, colleagues on the rivers and lakes, they call me the knob magician. But magicians also miss, sometimes. Just 5 years ago, I broke into a house that had been squatting for a month. Never thought. There is a son of the Jianzhu tribe in their family. The key is that this grandson brought a bird with him. He actually wanted to try the feeling of killing. It appeared, suddenly I became his target. I accidentally killed it among the 4. So he did 5 years. 5 years has changed a lot. Shortly after the death of his parents, my sister also passed away due to illness, leaving only one pair of children. He's my nephew. Niece lives alone in this world. So as soon as I got out of prison, I thought about visiting them. Make up for it, by the way, from the company of my incompetent uncle. After ringing the doorbell, it was my sister's remarriage partner who opened the door, the stepfather of True, Takasawa. He's an excellent physics teacher, but I think he's more like a robot. Slant eyes, hidden behind square metal eyes. Hardly blinked, and I learned that nephew self, incarceration. He never left his house. Lock yourself in a room on the 2nd floor all day. Became a member of the inspection team. But he's pretty smart. It is said that he is currently studying for college entrance exams. Just then, there was the sound of the door closing. Is it a goddess ghost? It's not what you think. He recognized me very quickly, but the attitude is very cold. Seems to be because I left without saying goodbye. Yeah, during imprisonment, I couldn't even attend my sister's funeral. Of course the kids don't. What happened to me? So when I come out, I must double the compensation for them. It was an awkward time. Niece just remembered. Brother seems to be still in the room. He got up immediately. Ran away from me like he found a reason. Ran up to the 2nd floor. Then comes the knock and the twisting of a doorknob. But the door doesn't seem to open. You have a bad feeling. So he also went upstairs. The cross door opens inward. Even if I tried my best to push, still motionless. Like there's 200 or 300 behind the door. The strong man of a cutty is the same. There is no keyhole around the doorknob. There are no gaps around the door. From the outside it looks like it's integrated into the wall. The niece said that the nephew's door was not locked. Usually you can push it away as soon as you open it. It's so weird. Today, Takasawa came over when he heard the movement. He told us that. Earlier today, I once saw my nephew working with an electric drill in the room. It seems that an auxiliary lock has been installed on the inside of the door. He doesn't come out with all this commotion outside. Maybe something really happened, and that made me even more anxious. That's when Takasawa brought the drill, skillfully installed the drill, and signaled us to stay away. With the roar of Mada Mountain, the drill bit went into the door panel, deeper and deeper. And all of a sudden, the sawdust goes flying, even splashed on me standing behind Takasawa. Soon, a small round hole appeared in the door panel. Takasawa leaned forward, so he says. He saw what looked like a coal stove. Did the nephew burn charcoal in the room? We're going to need a curved rod going through that hole. Open the auxiliary lock. Don't think too much. I pulled my middle finger out of the umbrella. Uncle Brad is here to save you. What I didn't expect was usually very useful middle finger. It didn't work today. Based on my experience, the auxiliary lock in the nephew's room should be cylindrical. Unscrew the lock to the right. Twist to the left to close the lock. This kind of lock is common. I've driven hundreds of them. But today, the middle finger can't hold the lock. It's like being oiled. Slippery. Finally, under my careful operation, accompanied by a crisp click, it's locked. I immediately took back my middle finger, pushed the door open. What I didn't expect was the door just opened a few centimeters. It's blocked by something. Looking through the crack of the door, It's duct tape, which is holding the door firmly. Something tells me, something bad must have happened in there. With a crackling sound, I finally knocked the door open. What I saw in front of us made us all stand still on the spot. The air is stuffy with hot air. Pieces of tape flying around. Grab a section hard, instinctively stuffed it into his pocket. The window on the other side of the room, grabbed firmly by PVC tape. In front of the window is a barbecue oven. There's also burnt honeycomb coal in the furnace. The walls are covered with paper tape decorations. In the center is a big one made of paper tape. Goodbye, perspective down. The nephew who has long since lost his breath, just lie quietly on the bed. My niece and I rushed forward. But Ghazi was accused of high carbon monoxide concentration. Pulled away may really be due to carbon monoxide. Until the police arrived, I still have breathing difficulties. The police initially determined that the nephew committed suicide. The time is between 11 AM and 1 PM today. Takasawa saw his nephew's home improvement door locked. It was around 11 AM. He didn't see a stove in the room at the time. The police are inside the nephew's discovered a large number of ingredients in sleeping pills. It means that he committed suicide by burning charcoal after taking medicine. Then came the visit at 3 PM. Oh, that's right. My niece left at 10 AM. That is to say, between 11 AM and 7 PM. There are only 2 people in the family, Takasawa and his nephew. But the nephew had no motive to commit suicide, because just the day before he was studying at home. People who want to commit suicide should not do such things. What's more, he loves his sister deeply. How could it be possible to leave him alone in this world? So if he wasn't the suicide killer, it must have been Takasawa, who was at home at the time. That's the consensus I came to after consulting with my niece. But how on earth did he create an explanation? What about the secret room? Name tape. The difficulty of the secret room lies in 1. How did the murderer lock the door after exiting the room? You know there are no gaps in the door. There is no possibility of using thin line or fishing line. How did the murderer keep the tape firmly on the door frame? I remember pushing the door in, obviously met with resistance. Once you do this, it must be completed in the room. That's simply not possible. To solve the mystery, I found the lawyer who had been taken care of. It is said that he has solved many secret room murders, famous in the industry. What I didn't expect was, beside him stood an old friend of mine. Manager of an anti-theft shop in Shinjuku. I dealt with him when I was a thief. I like to call him the little locksmith. In my opinion, Caesar will be the one standing behind the lawyer. The person who helped him solve the case can get their help. The case will definitely come to light. So the next day at noon, we all went back to the crime scene. Because it has been determined to be suicide, so the scene was almost cleaned up by Takasawa. It seems that he wants to destroy the evidence as soon as possible, but the niece still managed to keep some physical evidence. First of all, the tape used to seal the door is PVC type. It's very wide, very light, contains polyvinyl chloride ingredients, usually entangled in a metal outer layer. Avoid rust. It's strange if the door is to be sealed. Just use ordinary tape. Why use this special material? Corresponding. It's the same tape that seals windows. Don't know why. The tape that seals the door is half full of folds. Look at the folds. And I had an epiphany. And so I began to reason to people. The murderer is Takasawa. After killing his nephew in the room, attach half of the PVC tape to the door panel. Another spread sticker. Use strong suction after closing the door. Dust along the crack of the door. Suck up the remaining half of the tape. Grab the door. I even experimented with this with confidence. And I was surprised, because there is no gap between the door frame and the door, so the suction force of the vacuum cleaner cannot be transmitted at all. It seems that the mechanism for solving the door closure is solved. It's the key to cracking the technique. However, we are facing just an excellent physics teacher. The case is far more intractable than imagined. Even the little locksmith said, "This is the most difficult loss I have ever encountered." At this time, the auxiliary lock caught the attention of the little locksmith. He stood by the door like a child, playing with the door lock. "What have you been doing since just now?" The lawyer's tone is like impatient with bad kids. "Nani, I found something interesting." You listen to this voice. Bad boy speaks. When the locksmith opens the auxiliary lock, you can hear the crack of metal. However, when he locked the lock, there was no sound. That's too strange, as if someone intentionally don't let others hear the sound of locking. Soon we found the source of the muffler. The little locksmith used tweezers in the latch hole of the auxiliary lock. Pick out a dollop of absorbent cotton. It seems that Takasawa is deliberately trying to cover up the sound of locking. So why is that? Then I remembered when I broke down the door yesterday, the little piece of paper tape I found. When I took it out of my pocket, the little locksmith's eyes lit up. Then he ran downstairs without looking back. Watch Takasawa's lesson preparation video. Half an hour later, he ran upstairs to tell us. Chamber of Secrets. Solve the dots currently encountered by Liu Yaga. For subsequent reasoning, how did the murderer seal the door with PVC tape? 2. What is the significance of this? Why did I first open the door? The door pattern is not moved, even if it's locked. It's impossible for the tape to seal the door, right? For if paper cotton obstructs locking, make a sound. What's the point of that? 5 pieces of paper tape I found. What does it do? See here. Detectives may wish to like it. In 3 seconds, the truth will be revealed. The first is the mystery of tape sealing. The reason why AutoNavi uses lightweight PVC tape. There is a crucial reason. It has good static electricity. Distance and nail are also negatively charged. This is beyond the reach of ordinary craft paper tape. Special. It also has a wider bandwidth than regular glue. Can hold the door seam very firmly. This was the situation at the time of the crime. After Takasawa's murder, first around the door panel, apply half of the PVC tape. The remaining half is exposed. Then rub part of the tape with a towel. Charge it up. Then quickly close the door, so part of the tape is attached to the door. Gradually, the surrounding tape will also be pulled over due to static electricity. Finally all pasted. That's why half of PVC tape is wrinkled. Of course, this is just the first step for Takasawa to abide by the law. It took him so much effort to seal the door. That's certainly not the only purpose. A science student commits a crime. Every step is necessary. His other purpose is to keep the room from showing any air. Remember that, when I first went to push the door can't be pushed at all. Chen ran, even if it is sealed with tape, the auxiliary lock is locked. It can't be pushed at all. Here Gaussy applies a knowledge of physics. That's the pressure. Remember that, when I finally knocked the door open, the room is full of heat. That's because the air conditioner makes the room hot. The little left craftsman opened the physics reference book. The book has the words Charlie's Law written in it. You don't know, guys? Have you ever done such an experiment? Put a deflated ping pong ball in hot water. After a while he will be back to normal. And here's Charlie's Law. Based on 0 degrees, every degree of increase, the object will expand by about 1 to 173rd. Suppose the murderer commits a crime. Raise the air conditioner temperature by 3 degrees. Then according to Charlie's Law, the volume of air in the room, it will expand to 1.011 times its original size. The extra, 0.01, it's probably nothing in a normal room. But the door seam was sealed with PVC tape. The whole house, it becomes an airtight confined. The room size has no change, but there is more air. This extra air has nowhere to go, only against the door. According to the pressure formula, 1 atmosphere of pressure, the pressure on a cubic centimeter is 1 kilogram, then the pressure on the door panel, an extra 0.01 kilograms per cubic meter. The door is a style of 1.9*80 centimeter, so 0.01 times 190 times 80 is 167.2 kilograms. That is to say, when we first opened the door, it's like 167,000 fat people standing behind the door. If you can push it, there will be ghosts. Then why can the door be pushed again later? That's because Takasawa drilled a hole in the door. Remember that, the sawdust flew weirdly far away. That's why the air pressure in the house is so high. It's like a bottle of gas. It's like being suddenly unscrewed. And the sound of the drill, it just covers up the sound of the air rushing out. As expected of a physics teacher, can you create such a secret room? Every scene is in his calculations. So now the problem of 123 is solved. And 2 last questions. Why is it so hard to open the lock with my middle finger? My setting is the king of lockpicking. There's no reason to miss. The reason is simple. The little locksmith took out the piece of paper tape I found. Because when you first open the door is not locked at all. The door was locked while AutoNavi was drilling. This is nonsense. Never mind when he was drilling. My niece and I watched the whole time. Just lock the auxiliary lock outside the door. Enough fantasy. It's easy. Just use this paper tape. Put a thick circle of paper tape over the knob. And leave a section below. The direction in which the knob is locked is to turn left. The extra paper tape is also going in the same direction. When drilling, just find the position directly below the auxiliary lock. Drill the drill in the extra piece of paper tape. The moment of contact with a low-speed drill bit. It's like a fingerprint. The drill bit drives the tape to lock the door. That's why. The reason why Takasawa wants to stuff absorbent cotton in the lock cylinder, so you wouldn't hear the clatter of the lock. And then finally, the blade from the drill. Just cut the paper tape on the knob. And of course, don't worry about you finding the tape, because the room is decorated with paper tape. enough to cover the forest. But there was a piece of tape stuck to the knob. That's why it's slippery when you pick a lock with your middle finger. It's obvious, his middle finger is stronger than yours. After saying all this, everyone present was horrified. Then the police found on that piece of paper tape, found Takasawa's fingerprints, thus confirming his guilt. As for motivation, I think the detective have guessed it. That's legacy. My parents died leaving behind a large sum of money. They saved 400 million yen. I had run away from home. Of course this money has nothing to do with me. Therefore, it was all inherited by my sister. After my sister died, the inheritance continues to nephews and nieces. This is for Takasawa, who is their stepfather. It's like you're throwing money at him. Send money because as long as nephews and nieces die, he is the only heir. So this jerk uses his expertise. Carried out this secret room murder disguised as a suicide. If it wasn't for Shizuo-kyung cracking the method, it won't be long. The niece will surely be murdered, too. So that's it for this issue. If you still like the story of the little locksmith, you can leave a message at the bottom of the comment area and let me know. Also, don't forget the one-click triple connection. Help me get popular. This is a cockfighting club. I'm Raymond. See you next story.